Is there
Chair,
any public
Chair,
testimony?
there was no public testimony received. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Each application will be heard in the order listed on the agenda. Staff will introduce each project. Applicants will be asked to make a presentation or statement, which will be followed by questions from the commissioners. The commission, after discussion, will vote to make a recommendation for approval, denial, or deferral. The first item on the agenda is the meeting minutes from October 26, 2001. These were distributed. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Okay, I'm seeing no one unmuting or signaling that there are corrections. So hearing no corrections, the minutes are approved. And there are no statements for the public, so we'll move on to new business. First item of new business is application number PL-KVD-2021-000004. The applicant, Mr. Bill McCowett, agent for Manini Holdings LLC, is proposing several exterior improvements to the Kona Brewery and two adjacent parcels with the same ownership to accommodate boutique manufacturing and to continue the renovation trend. The exterior improvements include wall murals, concrete walkways, outside dining area, Tiki Torches, new storefront facing the courtyard, new building, and awning colors, bike racks, new propane tanks, raised courtyard on Pavai Place side, parking lot line adjustments on Kulikini Highway side, and reference to future signs. The applicant is Bill McCowett. Landowners, Leo Kalani Trust Estate. Leasee is Manini Holdings LLC. TMKs 74-010-001-002 and 018. Located at 74-5617, 74-5606, and 74 and 74-5599 Pavai Place, Kailua, Kona. Will staff please give us an introduction to this application?
Thank you, Chair. It's Rosalind Newland, staff planner. So the existing building on lot 14, which is the principal lot, is 7410-2, which is where the existing warehouse and manufacturing building with accessory retail and office use is existing, is proposing to add more retail and office use in mezzanine levels, which is permitted as an accessory and permitted accessory uses and subordinate uses to permitted uses on the site. A review of their application indicates, let me put the I'll put their PowerPoint up here. We'll get going on that to get this on share. Oops, just a minute. Where is my PowerPoint? This is hard to do. That's not working. Just a minute. I have to have this over here. Sorry. More difficulties. Okay, are you seeing the slideshow now?
I can see it.
You can see it, okay. So this is a list on the right of all the things they wanted to present for the design review. And as I went through this, there was many different slides and things that they submitted, and there's a few that weren't included for complete review for this application. I apologize that I didn't catch it earlier. The principal things that we'll be reviewing tonight will be the murals, and the bike racks are shown. The signs were not completed, were not submitted with a sign permit application. So those signs that they submitted in their application were shown for your future, for your information to see what their trend was, where they were leading to for their signs for future. And the propane tanks were not shown, and the tables and chairs were shown, but the umbrellas weren't shown. And the raised courtyard was shown on one side view, and the new storefronts were shown, but I didn't see the Tiki Torches, and the outdoor dining area was shown. And so as we go through this, we'll see what parts you can take action on. So this is part of the site plan. I just showed it for this list of things that they had asked for presentation to be done on. So these are the chairs and the tables that they want to put in the outdoor dining area. And they're showing it as being brown gray. This is the new concrete sidewalk that they want to put leading from the, I'm going to see this to the site plan. This sidewalk right here, new walkway leading from the Buckeye edge of their parking lot down across the 50-foot wide easement that's required by subdivision, was years ago for landscaping, and end up, next to the Kukini Highway. Well, this was first presented to the planning department and Department of Public Works. Well, maybe not the first time, but a few years ago, back in 2009 and 2010, and that did not receive a positive recommendation from either department. There was safety and traffic concerns, and DPW had a list of concerns listed in their memo back then, and planning department had concerns also about safety and ADA compliance concerns. And one of the biggest things, one of the things that DPW engineering had mentioned, that having a new pathway right here, this is about the midpoint between Kaiwi and Palani. So it creates a new pathway to cross Kuakini, which is a pretty busy roadway most times, especially during peak traffic hours. And it creates a new pathway for people to cross. People were already crossing on the other, on this other lot that they were just developing to go to another site on Pavai. So they were concerned about that. So in this application package, we didn't see any new information submitted that they had addressed any of those concerns. Well, they may have, but there wasn't anything submitted with this application that they had contacted DPW or planning again to address any of those previous concerns mentioned. That's just a side note. Moving on, but that's a stairway, and there's a part of the landscape easement representing how it's landscaped. This is a stair. These are supposed to be existing stairs that go between lot 14 and lot 13, which is the Kona Brewery, the existing Kona Brewery on parcel number 1. And this is a picture of the new Kona Brewery across the street. Oh, that's lot 14. It says building with, that's the new color scheme. Sorry, so you see the aqua color and the brown. So that's a new color scheme they're presenting. And this is the landscaping west along above Kuakini in the landscape strip. And next door, some of this land, a lot of this new landscaping has gone in next door to the new Kona Brew, where they have the those big tanks. In front of that site, there's new landscaping. So this would be a nice continuous approach along there. This is a side view elevation of the building with the raised courtyard. And this might, this I think represents some of the mezzanine levels they're putting in. And then this is the outdoor, this is the courtyard and the outdoor seating area I can make this larger. Yeah. This is the corner by the front yard area off of Pavai Street. I believe this is the outdoor seating area they're proposing. Okay. This was their original layout for the murals, and they had originally proposed 9. And when I talked to them today, I'd asked them about these murals, and these were actually examples of the artist's work. So they weren't actually the murals being selected. So I got a different set of information today, and now they have picked out 6 sites shown on this new map where they have picked out 6 murals, and I'm going to go through these now against each building where they're going to be. So you see number 5 is this coffee kiosk across the street, goes wrapping around that building. Number 6 is a wall behind this part of the parking. Number 2 is the end of this wall. Number 3 is the end of this wall. This is the Kona Brew block. And then number 1 is across the end of this wall. And then the rest would be in the future when they have more availability of funds to proceed. And they would come back for KBDC. So this is mural number 1. And that goes against this building here. This is mural number 2. And it goes against the length of this building, would fill in this building right here, facing Kohala parking. So that would be the north parking. We can go back to the legend in a minute. And this is building number 3, which does this to me look like some kind of stick figures or petroglyph type markings. I'm not sure. Bill can go into that further. And this is mural 4, which goes along is numbered differently, but with the new murals that they provided, this would go along the trash enclosure mural that looked differently before. They had different paintings on here, but now it looks like this. And so they would put this mural on this is the CRM wall that goes around the trash enclosure. So right behind here is a trash enclosure, and this is the loading stall right here. This is in the parking lot. I'll show you here in a minute when I'm done where all these are again. And this is a wraparound mural that goes around this coffee kiosk. This is must be the back of it because the front of it has a coffee order window and things like that, and a door. And then this is, I'm going to zoom in on here. This is the art that would go along the wall, along the back parking lot here, which right now has this along it, this painting of various artists going on here. So let me go back to the legend. So here are the end wall areas, 1 and 3. And then this is the wraparound artwork that goes on the coffee kiosk. And this was another end building. This is the wall behind the parking. And this is the newer Kona Brew where Umeki's is right here, and Willie's Chicken, and another couple, 3 or 4 restaurants are in here. And this is the brew lot that did did some of the remake already on the storefronts about a year ago. And then this is the brew block right here. And then right in here is where the original Kona Brewery is. I believe this is the parcel. Or is this the parcel? No, this is parcel. This is Kona Brewery right here. And this is what's known as the brew block. Okay, and so I'm going to show all these, if I can find the right key. They're all up there. So does anyone have any questions? Oh, and the lastly was the application pack did include a number of signs and exhibits for the signs, but because the sign code requires that a sign permit application be submitted in order for a recommendation to be forwarded to the Director of Public Works, I'm not going to go over all the signs. That was just there for reference for as I said, over the trend that they're leading towards for more artistic work to be part of this project of renovation that they're doing. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Roz. Is that the end of your presentation?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, commissioners, do you have any questions for staff? I'm not seeing anyone unmute. So,
Okay.
Does the applicant have anything that they would like to present?
Wait, Sean, Riley had a question.
Oh, sorry, I missed the unmute. Go ahead, Riley, go ahead.
Yeah, Sean, thank you. So I'm looking at the 46-page attachment that was included in the link and trying to follow what the applicant is requesting approval on. And on page 7 of that 46-page attachment, I see 13 items that we seek approval for the following improvements. So Is that what KVDC is being asked to consider at this meeting?
That's right. Yes, Chair, Commissioner Smith, that's right here. That's on the second slide that I showed you. They've just listed 13, but they can't all be included because number 13 is the signs, and that needs a sign permit application. Number 12 is the murals, which partially can be considered because 6 murals have been presented tonight that are well, it's up to the commission to decide how they want to proceed with the mural. 6 have been presented with now they have 6 locations. In all, they want they're going to be doing 9 murals, but they said in an email tonight that I sent out, had Noriko Sauer sent out to you, that they would come back for the remaining 3. So tonight they're presenting 6 murals instead of 9. And the parking lot line adjustment on Kuakini's side, I'm not sure, they didn't really indicate where that is. The bike racks, they have some of those electric bikes. I thought I had a slide in here, but no, I'm not seeing it. It was in the packet. They have those electric bikes, the blue bikes, that they have a bike rack. It was already actually added in, but now they're including it in their design review. And new propane tanks, I didn't see an exhibit for those. They did include the new building and awning colors. Those were right in here. So, let me find that. This is, can you see this slide here?
No,
With
you're
the
no
brown
longer,
and the,
you're not sharing your screen anymore.
I'm not
Roz.
sharing? Okay, sorry.
I
What
see a
happened here?
screen, but there's not a presentation on it.
Okay, let me see what happened here. Let me try and share it again. Oh, shoot. I lost my presentation. Oh, what happened here? Okay, do you see that now? Okay, so let me find that. First, let's do first let's find the list of 13. Here's the list of 13. It was my second slide. The concrete walkways and stairs down Kuakini I showed you. The existing stairs from lot 14 to lot 13 were included in the slides. I'll show it to you again. The outside dining area was included, but the umbrellas, and the table chairs were included, but the umbrellas weren't shown. The Tiki Torches, I couldn't find an exhibit for those. The raised courtyard was shown on one elevation, and the new building and awning colors were shown, and the new propane tanks were not shown. The parking lot line adjustment would be something that would be done as part of the plan approval. The bike racks were shown in the packet. The murals were partially shown. 6 out of 9 were shown and their location. And the signs need to be submitted with a sign permit application. So out of the 13, 1, 2, 3. I don't know, the new storefront-facing courtyard, the applicant will need to speak more on that. 5 things or 6 things really aren't part of the design review because the existing stairs are already there. It's really more of I think it's an FYI, but so say 5 or 6 things are not really included in well, those existing stairs you can mention that you either like them or either you approve them or you don't, but they're existing stairs. So this is the chairs. That's the proposed new concrete pathway that I mentioned about the DPW and planning department concerns. This is the existing stairway to the adjacent lot. These are the new colors. This is the gray brownish color and the aqua or turquoise color. And this is the new landscaping along the landscape easement facing Kuakini, above Kuakini. This is the outdoor dining area without the table shown. And there was another exhibit that showed the tables. I'll show it to you in a minute. And this is the raised courtyard. This is the new storefront showing that the new aqua color and the brown. This is the exhibit showing the location of these, actually 5 murals, because there's no number, well, there is number 4. So 6 murals. And then I went through the murals. Those are all part of tonight's decision or recommendation. And I did have a slide with the outdoor seating area with the tables, an exhibit. I thought it was on this one.
The only thing that we cannot approve tonight is the signs because there's no application. That's what.
No sign, and the Tiki Torches, which are were not. I didn't find them unless they're.
Okay. Well, that'll be a question for the applicant then. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an applicant question. So more than half of these can be part of tonight's review, but some are not. One is really a zoning question that would be handled during plan approval, the parking lot line adjustment on Kukini's side. That's not a design review. That's a zoning question for their plan approval. And the bike racks were previously approved in a plan approval as part of a modification, but they're adding them in now as part of their review. And those were, I'll show you where they are. They're back, they're right along, as I recall, they're right along here somewhere. They're in the newer lot, and Bill can confirm that.
Okay. Thank you, Roz. Does anyone else have any questions for Roz? Okay, I'm not seeing anyone unmute.
Should I stop sharing this or should I leave it up?
Maybe leave it up in case the applicant wants to refer to it.
Okay.
So does the applicant have anything they'd like to present? Hopefully you can at least tell us where the Tiki Torches are.
Okay. Well, aloha, commissioners. Thank you. Starting with the Tiki Torches, I just thought they were.
If you could introduce yourself.
Sorry, Bill McCallum, planner for Manini Holdings, and the applicant in this case, along with Matson Davis, who's the owner of Manini Holdings, is attending also. For the Tiki Torches, I just assumed they were relatively a generic item, and we all know what Tiki Torches look like. So the only representation of Tiki Torches that I did was on the site plan provided for lot 14. And the Tiki Torches are solely for the new work being done on lot 14. So I just thought, I didn't think to put a picture of the Tiki Torch, but it's your standard pipe with a conical shaped torch at the top, approximately 4 or 5 feet high. And they're located, we can segue from that into the new sidewalk that's been put in there. And Roz, if you could move to the picture of that sidewalk area and the back of lot 14. Well, actually, if you could go back to okay, there it is. So straight ahead where you see the aqua greenish color of the buildings, that is a new sidewalk. And if you squint a little, you can probably see that there's a planter there. And the planters are shown also on the site plan. So there are 3 planters and 3 little semicircular bump outs from that sidewalk. And we're proposing open air dining there with umbrellas and tables and that kind of thing. Some of you commissioners may have been on the commission last year, I believe it was, when we got these storefronts approved. And the fruit of your approval is these first 2 storefronts that you see installed. If you could zoom in on that again, Roz, just for a second. So that's your approval that you gave last year. There's the first, it's actually 3 storefronts that are in at the moment. And we intend to make it all very similar or nearly identical all the way up and down the front of here. And then the sidewalk is wide at this end and it tapers to the other end just because of the geography. And with the planters and so forth, we're looking at a very vibrant and to me exciting outdoor dining experience and gathering place and like that. On your right, as I'm sure many of you know, is the longstanding Kona Brew Pub, very successful operation there. And you can see their landscaping on their lot above that retaining wall, above those cars. So if you could pull back, Roz, we would like approval of these stairs, just because we intend to get them retroactively. They've been there for many, many years, but we think on just to cross T's and dot I's and so forth, we would like them approved and added to the KBDC approvals to the planning department. And then we want to get them in this particular plan approval, we want to get them on paper, nailed down rather than just some amorphous thing floating around out there. Roz, if you could go back to the site plan for a minute. Okay, and can you show the whole thing? That's just the bottom half of the page. No, not that site, not the keep going, keep going. A lot to digest here, I know, but no, there's the other site plan that was showing the landscaping easement and so forth. Yeah, right there. Now, I did submit, there is a whole page to this. This is the bottom half of the page. Can we see more of that? Okay, well, zoom back out. I guess it got cropped or something. But commissioners, you can see the sidewalk that I'm talking about with the planters, the tiki torches, like that triangular shape above those red crosswalks. You can see all of our new ADA parking, of course.
Sorry to interrupt you here, but in the packet that was available to us online, there's a sheet, it's like sheet C1, I believe you're referring to. And that sheet shows all three sites together with all the various improvements noted.
And there should be a sheet C2 also.
And C2, yes. That shows that one whole property, yeah.
Just lot 14, right?
It's all of lot 14 with all the notes. Yeah.
And just for background for you folks, what we've done is created a shared parking agreement between the three properties that are controlled by Manini Holdings. And Queen Liliuokalani Estate signed off on that recently. And we're taking that to planning. So we now have cross parking, so to speak, amongst the three lots that allows all of what we're presenting here to happen. The new buildings with Shiono's and Heiko and Willie's Chicken and Numeke's has a surplus of about 40 or so parking spaces. And it's helped offset, and contribute to some of the parking that we need for what we're trying to do here on lot 14. Other than the murals, the thrust of this evening's review is mainly the work on lot 14. So anyway, getting back to that, just for reference, let's look at the list. So the concrete walkway and stairs down to Kuakini Highway, I know in the past it was poo-pooed, I guess you might say. It is an existing trail. It is used all the time. I use it every single day, practically. My office is in this complex and my apartment is over by the pier. And it's just heavily used already. So it's a fact of the matter. And Kuakini Highway is no longer the main highway from the airport like it was, way back in the original configuration of all this. And putting in a safe set of stairs rather than a rocky climbing trail makes a lot of sense. So I'm here to lobby on behalf of something that's already heavily used, and let's just make it more practical and more user-friendly and actually safer. The crosswalk argument is kind of, there's very well marked bicycle lane and walking lane on Kuakini at that part. I do both. I walk on a bicycle. I use it all the time. And, people will find their way back and forth as they do. But as from a design standpoint and from your scope, of review, I would like to see it get recommended for design purposes, that this look very attractive. It'd be quite similar to the stairs that go down from Firestone to the intersection of Palani and Kukini. So it'd be nearly identical to that. And I think, we want interconnected neighborhoods here. We want walking pathways instead of people jumping in cars or on scooters. And we want to make the circulation between the pier and the west end of Elite Drive and this really new and up and coming vibrant neighborhood that's being created here by Manini Holdings. We want and people want to walk more than they used to, I think. And I think it should be recommended despite the previous feelings of the former administrations. The zeitgeist has changed. The use of the property is vastly different from some, rundown industrial area. And, I think what's going on here is really the poster child for urban improvement and making livable neighborhoods and all of that. So getting back to the list, that's the concrete walkway and stairs going down, and the existing stairs number 2 going up. Number 3 is the 600 sidewalk that I just mentioned for dining. I've touched on the Tiki Torches. So I'd like to switch to the raised courtyard, which is at the other end of this C2 diagram that got cut off, unfortunately. But Roz, if you would show those perspective and elevation views of that, please. Okay, so this is the same building at the other end. This is the end facing Pavai, and the perspective that you see on the right is at the circular end of Pavai Place, which is technically a dead end, lollipop dead end. So we want to install an ADA ramp going up from the existing, and I think many of you know that this was recently repaved and new sidewalks and all of that good stuff got installed here versus the old, just junkalunk gravel shoulder that used to be there. So this is all freshly new with proper sidewalks and that kind of thing all the way around the lollipop, so to speak. And we're proposing an ADA ramp that will turn the second floor of this building into a completely accessible structure. Secondly, we create a courtyard, and where you see those doors, those are glass overhead doors that are like garage doors, essentially. They go up and down. And we hope this will become a restaurant space, or it might become retail, but we're really hoping for another restaurant over here with outdoor dining and this. And then there's a little bit of landscaping that goes on with this. The area to the right of the perspective is also already very nicely landscaped. I think if any of you have any direct experience with that, it's mature trees and bushes and very colorful, very lovely, nicely maintained. And then of course to the left here is those storefronts. It's kind of hatched out in this view, but these new, well, stop there. Whoop. Go back to the photo just for a second. Well, anyway. Yeah. Okay, I wish I was in control, but I'm not. So these roll-up doors are a nice feature. Keep going. One more. Yeah, maybe stop there. So yeah. So this is the current state of affairs here with it torn up for the, we had a gas line permit to put in the Tiki Torches with gas lines and so forth. So we want to lift this up with a rock wall going around on 3 sides, the ramp going up roughly where this orange fence is. And the new courtyard would be at the top of the pink barricade thing you do here. And it would help us to build out this rather relatively boring blank wall into a wall with the matching and very similar, dark anodized aluminum and glass storefronts and so forth. So let's go back to the list. Tables and chairs and umbrellas. I did supply the umbrella color. It's kind of an umber orangish, and it's in one of my documents that I did put in there. The new building and awning colors. So you've seen how the buildings have been painted, and hopefully you agree that's very tasteful. Propane tanks are propane tanks. I mean, they're just, you know, your typical 250 or 500 gallon horizontal propane tanks that are painted beige, I think, or whitish beige. And I guess, I don't know, I'll take questions on the parking lot line adjustment on Kuakini's side, but we want to have the parking as shown here, and practically speaking, all of the landscaping from the Kuakini point of view as you walk or drive along Kuakini will look exactly the same as it has looked for many, many years. And it's a, you know, it's a well-maintained landscaping feature for the benefit of the general public. So the property lessee in this case has done a really excellent job with that, and we're not proposing to diminish or reduce the overall perception. That will be exactly the same from down on Kuakini as you drive by, just because it's about 10 feet lower and you're looking upwards. And it's also, I think, Raj, you can find a picture of that landscaping from the top here. Yeah, so that's it from the top side, and from the bottom side, it just is that all the way down. Now, from the bottom, the caveat here.
Bill, are these the umbrellas? Will they be the same as those?
Similar, they're more of a number. What am I trying to say? Umber or orangish tan, you know, in that realm, but maybe more towards the color of the stairs a little bit, or, you know, like that. And umbrellas change from time to time, honestly. You know, I think the gestalt of this whole area is everything that Manini Holdings has done is, I think, been done in a very tasteful fashion, and we're not going to do anything to undermine that. We just want to keep building on a successful formula here. So I think I'm done with my talking about it. We have discussed the murals. That was a little bit helter-skelter, but initially when I submitted the first map of the murals were in development. So we wanted you folks to approve it just based on themes and similar work. Since then, it's grown to, the artists have created very specific works for this stuff, and we can show you the 6 that we would like to get approved tonight. Laura's done a pretty good job of already showing those, but if I could go through them one more time, I'll give you my verbal description of where they are on the buildings. So the one that we currently see on the screen is facing Kuakini at the back of lot 14, and by the 2 sets of stairs that we just talked about. And the dining I talked about will be on the right. So there's the as-is picture of the building. Next. This one, I don't know where is this one keyed to, Roz?
It's key to the Mauka building, number 2 spot.
Number 2 spot. So that's Alpha Electric and facing Shiono's restaurant is what that's proposed to be. And also, just so you know, there's a rather unsightly chain link fence that's there, and that is coming down in the next couple of days. That will be gone. And then those blue bikes, the rental bike system for Path Hawaii, in the new scheme of things, they're currently lined up between number 6 and number 2 on this map. So you see the lot line between the numbers 6 and 2. The bikes are lined up there. We want to move those over to the arc of the parking nearer to Shiono's. And then they'll be parking along facing, you know, nose in towards that number 2 mural. So that's that mural. Next one, Roz. These just came out today, by the way, so forgive me for, okay. This one, I believe, is at the other end of the Mauka building. And that's my office, those 2, that one window at the far back there. But anyway, it would be on that building, and that more or less faces Firestone and Original Thai, what they call that, Dolphin Spit, you know, that area. So it faces into another parking lot essentially, but be a nice improvement, I think, and I look forward to seeing it there. But not, you can't really. I mean, basically, you'll see it from Original Thai's parking lot, pretty much. So. And Mural 4, where's this, Mattson?
Mural 4 goes around the trash enclosure.
Okay. Next, Roz. And replaces this that you see.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then this next one.
This one is, that one is actually if you go back, that is the art right there. Punky Aloha, and that's going around our comfort station. That's not the coffee kiosk. That's actually bathrooms that support those restaurants right there.
And that's between Umeke's restaurant and the other 3 restaurants in the other building.
Yep. This last mural will go replace Makihiki on the 80-foot mural that's on that back wall right there. So I've been working on these murals for 9 months with Kumu Ching and 6 different artists from around the state. One from Kauai, a couple guys from Oahu that have done Prime, 808 Prime, and also Saul have done quite a few things at Powwow. Brandy, designer for Sig Zane, is doing the one of Mauna Kea from the Hilo side, that big pink one and red. Punky Aloha is very, very popular right now. She did the Bennett Eye mural up there at Bennett Eye Clinic on the way out of town, going south. The one that has all the little stick figures, those are petroglyphs. Saul's doing that. He actually wrote a book on Hawaiian culture. He's Hawaiian, and so Kumu was just really, really involved. I have a whole document on it. So when you go to the mural, there'll be a QR code, and you will flash it right there. You'll see video of the mural being made. You'll see a story about the artist and interviews with the artist, you know, as well as the story, the mo'olelo of behind, you know, the past of this whole thing. This is all based on the concept of strive. It's a Kulia Ka'inu'u, which is Queen Kapiolani's statement of strive to your highest potential. And this was kind of what we kind of came up with in the spring as we were coming up on 1 year of COVID. You know, you got to do the best you can. And so there's going to be the Liliuokalani Children's Center involved, Donkey Mill Art Center involved, as well as some kumus and their halaus and coming into this whole thing. So I think you guys have seen what we've been trying to continue to drive at Brew, which is a gathering place to meet, drink, eat, shop, makers markets, and the like. So we've been able to work with the trust quite closely. We actually have a letter from them approving that they want to have those stairs go down to the walking path and the back bike path down below. You know, we've met with Roz several times. We've also met with Director Kern several times to kind of, you know, really bring this whole thing together and turn what was once the Crown building and Paradise Beverage. Oh, you know, our building was built to be a sausage factory that never opened in Kona, go figure. And then replacing what was a gas station and service rental, Kona rental for all those years with the new buildings. We're getting about 3,500 people a day into this cul-de-sac. And the Kona Brew Pub will be launching on a $4 million remodel on their restaurant that is supposed to be completed by the end of 2022. So it was hard to kind of get the murals where we are, and it's no small feat of expense or operations to get all these skyjacks and all these people and all this stuff. But I'm really, really excited about what it's going to bring and the enthusiasm to the community. The timing was just amazing for these restaurants on Lot 12, where Umeke's and Willie's were to open when they did, and the business that they've done. So it's been a long process. I started this in 2004. So I consider this to be the completion of Brew 2.0 after providing sidewalks and curbs and gutters for 70% of Pavai Place as a contribution to the community, really kind of cleaned that up. And there might be a 3.0. I don't know. My beard's getting kind of white, I see in the reflection here. But so that's where we're at. I don't know if you guys have any questions that I could answer.
Thank you, Mattson and Bill. And I think you just clarified one of the questions I had was that the Manini Holdings provided the sidewalks on those areas of Pavai Place. That's correct?
That's very correct. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Commissioners, does anyone else have any questions for the applicant? Commissioner Smith, are you unmuted?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay, Sean?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know that in the packet of information on page 25, it shows a graphic that includes the umbrellas and the color of the umbrellas, that burnt umber. So it is in the packet that the commissioners were provided. I just want to let everybody know that. Also, I just wanted to mention I'm in support of what Manini Holdings has done. They've put an investment in a challenging area. Many of us who were involved with Kailua Village Business Improvement District knew the challenges that were occurring on Pavai and the location that the county had renovated there for some of the less fortunate folks in our community. So, I applaud Mattson and what he's done to try to improve the district, especially to address parking. A lot of your successful restaurants, when they were in other locations, had real big challenges with parking. And I think you've done an excellent job to try to address both vehicular parking as well as pedestrian-friendly developments that allow good access for everybody. So thank you very much. I'm in support of everything that we're able to approve this evening. Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner Smith. Commissioners, does anyone else have any questions for the applicants? I'm not seeing anyone unmute. So thank you for that presentation. So then we'll begin discussion of this project. I'd like to start out and just follow on Commissioner Smith's comments that the fact that this application and what the brewery block has been doing over the years, trying to make this area more pedestrian friendly, more bike friendly, is really commendable. I think that's a great direction to be going. There's not enough of that, and I know I've been on this commission too long because I remember seeing the proposal to have street trees on Pavai Place, and it was really frustrating to have the county prevent that from happening. And so I think that as a commission, we need to push back against the county a little bit and really support this strongly. Because I think that this applicant is trying to do the right thing for this area. And there are just a lot of regulations for this and that get in the way of that. And we need to help them overcome those things, especially things like the steps, getting between these different properties. Just the other day, I saw people climbing down the rocks. It's dangerous that way, and it doesn't make sense to not have a good stair there. So I'm really I know we can't approve the signs, even though I like the signs that were in the packet. But I'm in favor of approving basically their items 1 through 12, and saying that we support all of those items. And I don't need to see the other murals. It's very clear the type of mural that they're proposing here, and it's going to be a great benefit to the community. So I'll be quiet now Does anyone else have any discussion items, or would anyone like to make any motions? Commissioner Wercheck.
Well, first of all, I want to say that I applaud the use of public art, and I think that, in some communities, it's a mandatory part of new building projects. And I'm delighted to see particularly the effort to use locally relevant art, but we need more of that. And I applaud the fact that they're doing so much of it. And it's going to make it a particularly attractive place in the community, I think. So I too will support this project enthusiastically.
Anyone else have any points of discussion? Not seeing anyone else unmuting. Commissioner Smith,
Sean, is it time for a motion?
that would be great.
Okay, I move that we approve items 1 through 12 that were provided in the packet, and that the applicant then resubmit the sign permit so that we can review item 13 that we're not able to approve this evening.
I second it.
I second that motion.
Oh.
Oh, Brian beat me to it.
Don, I think Commissioner Wercheck beat you to it. Okay. Is there any discussion on the motion? Okay, seeing no further discussion, let's proceed to voting on the motion to approve items 1 through 12.
Okay, Chair, we'll do a roll call vote. And start with Commissioner Ching.
Strong eye.
Okay. Commissioner Crusat is absent. Excused, I'm sorry. Commissioner Ikuchi.
Aye.
Commissioner Kern is excused. Commissioner Smith, maker of the motion.
Aye.
Commissioner Sullenberger.
Aye.
Commissioner Wercheck, who seconded the motion.
Aye.
Okay, we had a majority vote. Motion passed to approve the numbers 1 through 12 on the request for design review and to resubmit the sign permit application at a later date.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Mattson.
Thanks.
Okay, so the motion is adopted. The second item of new business on today's agenda, application number PL-KVD-2021-000006. The applicant is Mr. Ali Galanfarse, architect for Kona Opportunity Properties LLC, is proposing several exterior improvements for a residential multifamily 16-unit apartment building located at Ahaloa Street in the Lona Kono subdivision built in 1972. The proposed exterior improvements include new standing seam metal roof, replaced doors and windows, replaced staircase and railings, and new landscaping. The application includes proposed interior improvements such as remodeled kitchens and bathrooms, add washer dryer to each unit, and new electrical and plumbing, which are not covered by the commission review. The applicant is Ali Galanfarse, landowner, Kona Opportunity Properties LLC, TMK 750226060, located at 75-5730 Alaho Street in Kailua, Kona. Will staff please give us an introduction to this application?
Good evening, commissioners. This is Terry Napiahi, staff planner. Tonight, I'm going to be presenting our second applicant tonight, and I'm going to share right now. Okay, so thank you, Baraz. Okay, tonight's applicant is Ali Galanfarse, who with Ali'i Architects. There's a project summary on this side, on this slide, and the project is Alaho Apartments. Proposed work would be our renovations. Parcel TMK 752260. And the address is 75 5730 Alaho Street, Kailua, Kona. Here is a zoning map from our GIS ARC GIS. The zoning for this particular parcel is RM-1, which is multifamily residential zoning. And we have a state land use as urban. And you can see that I have a little arrow that will show the parcel. You can't really see the distinct lines of the parcel, but you can see the streets that, that is adjacent to this particular parcel. Kalani, Alaho, McDonald's is right here in the very front parcel. And I'm going to show you the next slide that will show you an aerial view of where the parcel is at. So we have a little red mark here. You can see the streets. This is an older aerial shot, but it's good to show you where it's at. Where we show Queen Ka'ahumanu on this side. And you can see the Kona Hawaii Temple there. And we have on the opposite direction, nearest Makai, the ocean, we have Kuakini Highway. The parcel is not in a special management area. The special management area runs along the line of Kuakini towards the ocean. This is Alaho Street right here by the red arrow. And this right here is a parcel. And towards the bottom of the screen is north. South is to the top of the screen. Makai on your right, and Mauka on your left. The existing apartment building is a wood frame building consisting of 16 one-bedroom units built on a 16,062 square feet lot. There are 8 units per floor with approximately 3,600 square feet per floor. The building and site needs great care and improvements, according to Ali. There will be no change in the use or the size of the building. The latest improvement was connecting the wastewater line to the public sewer system. This is the proposed work for this project. The first proposed project is to remodel bathrooms and kitchens in the units, add the washer and dryer for each unit, new electrical, new plumbing, new roof using a standing seam metal, replace door and windows with new energy efficient double glazed aluminum, replace the staircase and railings, and also a proposal for a new landscaping. This is a photo that was shared by Ali. This is looking, the access to this parcel is from Alaho Street. And so you can see the access here, parking here, and they have two big trees in the front of the building, so you can't really see it from the Alaho Street, but this is a feature that Ali says is very important to him because it's very beautiful, although you can't see the building. This is another shot. You can see the arrow pointing towards where south is, and I think the north is in the opposite direction. But you can see a little bit of more about where the staircase is. This area right here is where the entrance walkway to the building is. And it is a 2-story building. And they have a deck in the front of the units. Stone wall in the front and of the entrance. This is a site plan that Ali had given just shortly, and it gives you an existing idea of what the building looks like. So, an existing plan. of where the parking, you can see where the parking is in the front. You can see the entranceway of Alaho Street. You can see the building and stone wall in the front, rock wall, and the neighbors adjacent to the right and the left, and the rear portion of the lot. This is the entranceway that we show in the photo, in the two photos prior. This, I'm sorry, was not in your packet, commissioners. This was added just recently before presentation. As I worked with Ali, I asked him to add a little bit more photos or slides to your presentation tonight. This is another site plan here of a proposal of what Ali Galam Farsa is going to be proposing. So you'll see a slight difference in the parking stalls. Here in the front area, we have some, we also show some of the trees. Right where you see the two trees are actually is a little area where I think he's going to be, it'll show on the other plan, on the landscaping plan more clearly what they're going to be doing in this front area. And let's see. So this is the north arrow, so you can see in the direction as to where the parking lot lays. Parking is important for plan approval. This is something that we're going to be checking with Ali. And it is where with the multifamily residential district, it is with a required land area of 1,000 square feet for each dwelling unit, or for each dwelling unit, or for each separate rental unit. So a multifamily dwelling is a permissible use in the RM1 district, zoning. And the setbacks for the RM for this parcel is 20 feet front and rear, and the sides are 8 feet for one-story building only, but plus an additional 2 feet for each additional floor. So, or story. So we have 2 stories here. So our setbacks are 2 feet for each story. Additional for a setback. We have a little rubbish proposed dumpster in this corner. That's something that I wanted to bring to attention in the parking lot area. You didn't see that in the photos earlier. Here's a site plan for landscaping. And according to our code for the RM district, it's required that they do 20% 20% landscaping for this zone. So he shows the 2 large trees in this area, and I'm not sure how they, you might want to ask Ali what they're going to be doing in this area where the trees are. And the barbecue pit looks like it, barbecue pit sink. And we have some trees in the rear end. I think, yeah, you have this one in your packet, commissioners. And, if you have more, typically in a plan approval, if you have more than 12 parking, there should be at least some shade tree, a canopy tree or shade trees inside of the parking area. That's something that we'll look at during the plan approval. Here's a floor plan for the first floor, and it's an existing floor plan. So you can take a look at it. I think you have this in your packet. And it shows you where the kitchen, the dining room area is of the unit, where the deck is in the front, and then, I'm sorry, in the back. Stairways up on both sides. And we have 8 units on this floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the proposed first floor. This is what they're planning on renovating. So if you see, there's a slight difference with the kitchen area. And we have some difference here too. I'm sorry, let me get back. They're also adding something to the deck. So if you look at the deck area, and we're going to move to the second floor. So this is the second existing floor. Commissioners, you did not have that proposed first floor in your packet. The second floor we have here is the existing. This is what it looks like with now. Very similar to what the first floor was like. And this is the proposed. So very similar to the first floor. They're doing basically the exact same thing, adding probably some cabinets, I believe, and on the deck, and then they're changing their kitchen area. You can see the difference. Very similar to the first floor. This is a basement. They're calling it a basement. It does, you would typically think that it might be a parking area, but I believe it's not for parking. It doesn't show that on our plans. But there's no changes to what's there. This is a roof plan, and you, as if you were looking at it from a topo view, you'll see a flat looking portion of your roof, which is something that you're going to be looking at, and it has a slope on both sides. And I'm going to show you the next rendering that actually shows you elevations on the east and the west side. So you can see that there is a slope on the roof here on the east and the west side. You can see it. The typical height limit for this RM zoning is 45 feet. So here's another shot of the bottom area. So it kind of looks like garage. I'll have Ali explain what it's used for. This is a elevation on the south end and the north end. You can see the pitch of the roof. It's the slope is really small here, but we did manage to look at the slope that you have on the roof, and the slope for the roof is, if you look at it closely, there's 2 different slopes. There's a slope here and a slope there. So where my little cursor is right now, it's 3 and running 12. So the slope here would be at 14. And then here we have a slope that's 3 feet and 10 with a run of 12. And so your slope would be 17. A little bit more of a pitch. So this style of roofing is acceptable in the master plan. It's very similar to what you would see with Jack in the Box. It has a flat top, but it does have a slope. This is what Ali had submitted to show the type of colors and features, very similar to the, to Benjamin Moore historical colors. So we have here the entry door as a chestnut solid wood. The standing seam metal that they're using for the roof is a dark slate gray. And the board and bat on the siding is a dark olive green. And then we have here the stairs that they're going to be renovating. It shows SS cables and composite treads. And then you have the sliding doors and windows being framed by a black aluminum. And that would be the presentation for Ali Galam Farsa.
Hey, thank you. Commissioners, does anyone have any questions for staff? I'm not seeing anyone unmute. So does the applicant have anything they'd like to present? Ali, are you still there?
Ali, I'm not sure. Is Ali still there?
He's still on the call.
He needs to unmute maybe.
Ali, do you have anything that you'd like to present?
Noriko, you have to unmute him.
I don't see him. Ali, you're muted still. We need to get you unmuted. There we go. Try again.
Aloha.
Oh, there, now we hear you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, staff, for helping me out here, presenting what you basically covered everything. I would just like to add that regarding the site plan and the landscape, the existing parking is actually 15 or maybe even 14, because the 2-3 that are on the south side, they're blocking the access to the back of the building. So we just rearranged. We got rid of the parking stalls on the south side and placed everything, or what was there in front of the building, 4 of them, and the rest of them on the street side. So basically, we gained 2 more parking. The whole thing, the whole idea is to basically improve the function, the safety, and the look of this existing building. The nicest, it's a building of the late 60s, early 70s, typical of the village. The 2 trees are really awesome. They need a little bit of a care and trimming, but they're wonderful. They need to remain, even though we can gain more parking by current planning code. I believe we do need to have 20 parking. But everything's existing. We're not changing the use, and we're not changing the size or not even the shape of the building. So the exterior will be enhanced, more functional, more energy efficient, more conducive to the current lifestyle of buildings that are happening in the village. And as far as the landscape, the only thing that is really there now are these the 2 trees and a couple of, I think they're in the agave family, in that little area where we have the the barbecue area, and 4 or 5 bike stalls. So that's the improvement that we did to the site. As far as the building, again, everything stays the same. The roof will be replaced. The siding will be board and batt, and also some horizontal wood-looking composite siding. And that you will see that on the lower left of the color board. The interior, again, it's remodeling of the, I know it's not for tonight, but it's basically making it more, remodel the kitchen and living area. Definitely, I highly recommend it to the owners to completely redo the electrical and plumbing for safety and efficiency, and they will do that. Even the meter locations are not very practical, even for Helco to read the meters. So basically to make everything much safer, much safer. That's all I have to say. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Okay. Thank you, Ali. Maybe you could just clarify for us a little bit what's happening in that basement zone. It appears that you're making it so that it's easier to access the backside of the building, but you're not actually calling those counted parking spaces. Is that correct?
That's correct. Those are actually storage. Some of them don't go all the way back because of the terrain. There's some retaining walls in the back, obviously, that are, but they're not all the same depth. So they're all storage. Some of them are actually not even used at all. But still, an easy access is needed. Right now, there's the parking stalls are on the south side, which in case of emergency, so that's why we remove the parking lot to provide access for these storage spaces.
And so will it be possible to drive around that south side of the building and down to the storage, or is that a
It is possible.
path?
No, it is possible. That's why I'm recommending that they remove or relocate the meters, because if they, for a little taller vehicle, it'd be kind of a little tight to drive by. So it is possible, and right now the ramp is pretty steep. So by removing those stalls, we have another 20 feet of length of the drive that goes down, which makes it a fairly easy, much easier driveway to go down.
Okay, thanks. So you're adding 2 parking spaces on the existing, and then also basically you're adding this whole wrap around the building of undesignated space.
It is not a wraparound because of the topography of, because of the topography, it goes down and it ends at the very end, at the northwest corner. It ends.
Yeah.
Because of the terrain. Yeah, it cannot go up.
But you can get around 2 sides of the building. Yeah.
You can, but not by car. No.
Okay.
On the south side, where the driveway is, you can drive down, but at the end you cannot turn back up because
you can't get turned around. Yeah,
that's why the grade is higher, like 6 feet higher.
Okay.
On the north side, it is 6 feet higher, about 6 feet higher, and I believe that shows on the elevation.
Yeah. Okay, that's clear to me. Thanks. So commissioners, does anyone else have any questions for the applicant? Commissioner Smith.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. So Ali, I have a couple questions. So really, it just has to do with cost. I look at the quality of what you're proposing here with the standing seam roof and the hardy board siding and those stainless steel cable railings, the additional landscaping, the plumbing improvements, as well as the addition of washer dryers. I'm just wondering how much all of this work is costing, because it seems very extensive, and I think this area could use it. I just was wondering how much it costs.
Honestly, when they started doing this, it was right before this massive hike in prices. When we started this project, it was, I think the sheet of plywood was like 3/4 inch plywood was $38. Now it's like 128, 126, 132. So it's going to be definitely much higher than I initially had suggested using all hardy and material for the exterior, and as well as because they didn't give me a budget really, but they seem to really like to do something. And in fact, I told them for what they can get here, I'm not a financial advisor, but to be more, because it's rental and there's so much they can only get, but they just like to do something, use quality materials for everything on the exterior, really, Mr. Smith. But and we have no cost.
What is the cost estimate?
The cost estimate?
So, well, Riley, the way things have changed now, I believe Ollie when he says he has no idea.
I really have no idea. It's
Okay.
when this started, I wish I had the answer for you. They have hired a project manager to start putting numbers together, talking to contractors, but I really don't have any idea. I'm sorry that I don't have.
That's fine. I guess I was just trying to gauge the likelihood of this work being completed.
From what I know, this partnership is doing in San Diego area, and other properties that they're looking here in Kona to do. I do believe that's a very feasible project for them.
Okay. All right. I'm good. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks. Commissioners, does anyone else have any questions? Okay, I'm not seeing anyone else raise their hand, so thank you, Ollie.
Thank you so much.
So we can begin with some discussion on the project. I'll lead off and just say I think that everything that's been presented is very good. It's a nice palette of materials. The adding to the existing parking is great, and I think making that storage more accessible is also really a good thing for the tenants. And O'Reilly is concerned, maybe if it's too expensive to actually get built. But on the flip side of that, I like the fact that an owner is wanting to sort of invest long-term in the area and not just do the cheapest thing that they can possibly get by. But I think that's a benefit to the village to have projects that are for the long haul. So let's open it up. Does anyone else have any comments or discussion on this project, or would anyone like to start off with a motion? Commissioner Smith.
Sean, I'll make a motion to approve this submittal as provided.
Okay, so
I will second it, Commissioner Sullenberger.
So a motion by Commissioner Smith, seconded by Commissioner Sullenberger. Is there any discussion on the motion? Commissioner Warcheck.
No, I was going to second.
Okay. Commissioner Sullenberger.
No, I'm good. I think it's a good project. I think it, that part of the town would really benefit from this. So I support it fully.
Okay, thank you. Okay, seeing no one else unmuting or raising their hand. Since there's no further discussion, let's proceed to voting on this motion to approve the project as presented.
Thank you, Chairman Roth. Let's begin by proceeding into our voting. Thank you, Commissioner Smith, who is a maker of motion, and Commissioner Sollenberger, who seconded the motion. Second the motion. Well, second the motion to approve the project is submitted. Let's take a roll call vote, and we'll start with Commissioner Ching.
Aye.
Commissioner Crusat is excused. Commissioner Ikeuchi.
Aye.
Commissioner Kern is excused. Commissioner Smith.
Aye.
Commissioner Sollenberger. Commissioner Sollenberger, who second the motion.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute. Aye.
Commissioner Werchek.
Aye.
That is a unanimous vote. The motion was approved. Thank you, commissioners, and applicant Ali
Thank you.
Galamparsa.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.
you.
The motion is adopted. So the next item on our agenda is administrative matters. Are there any administrative matters we need to
Yes,
discuss?
Chair, it's
Chair.
Rosalind. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Dan.
Hi, Chair. We do have one issue, primarily. We are working on the schedule for next year, and we do have one date that we're kind of questioning, or we have a question on. That's the second date in November of next year. The schedule has it where the meeting is going to be on the 29th, which is right after Thanksgiving. And we want to get the commission's feel on having a second meeting in November, or we can not have a second meeting and just have one meeting in November and one meeting in December. What say the commission?
Okay, but the 29th, that's the week after Thanksgiving.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And we figure everybody's going on vacation, or there might be a high level of people going on vacation. So there might be some concern as to whether or not we're going to have a full commission and able to have a meeting. So, but we wanted to leave it up to the commission to give us feedback.
I'm in favor of keeping the date, just because we don't know if we're going to be live then, or if we're Zoom, it's easy for people to get in, even if they're somewhere else. And I think it's good to have the meetings so that we can keep applicants on their way through the process if we can.
We do have the intention of keeping the meetings on Zoom. We've been successful, even with technical difficulties on some of our being able to record it, but we do, our intention is to keep the Zoom meetings ongoing. So if I hear correctly and I don't see anybody saying anything else, then we'll keep that second meeting in November. So that would be the November 29th. So we will, I see
Commissioner Smith.
commissioners.
I think the 29th is actually a Monday, so our meetings are Tuesdays, right?
Yeah, my apologies.
22 should be there. November of 22, yeah.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
November, the 29th is a Tuesday.
Got it. Sorry. My
No
apologies.
problem, not a problem at all.
For me, personally, I'm also in favor of keeping the meeting date. Because
Okay.
usually, I mean, I can only speak for myself, but I usually stay home with my family for Thanksgiving anyways. If they're on Zoom, if they're on Zoom, I can log in from anywhere.
All right, so the next meeting that we have, or we'll send out to all of the commissioners that are our next year's schedule. So that was only the one that we had any kind of a question or concern about. So thank you very much. Roz, did we have anything else?
Okay.
No, that was it.
Okay,
We have
so
a tentative meeting
No.
scheduled for November 23rd, but we're waiting on application. No, that was canceled.
That was canceled. So our
Canceled,
next
so
meeting
we
is
don't have one.
potentially December 7th.
Okay, so the announcement is that the meeting on November 23rd is canceled.
Correct.
And so the next meeting would be December 7th.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Great. Are there any further announcements?
Nope.
Anyone? All right.
No,
Well, since there's no further business, we actually did pretty good for getting a late start. You know,
Yes.
good job, everyone. So we'll say that with no further business, the meeting is adjourned at 6:57 p.m. So thank you all for your time, and we'll see you in December. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Have